So, some of the things that we can do. This is not rocket science, really. Be an active learner. So we can improve on this by being critical of the education that we're getting. Can I really apply this in my day-to-day activities, and how am I going to do that? Evaluating the value of the material. I know I've gone to workshops, 2-3 day courses, and I've left there and never ever used the information that I got. For whatever reason, whether I just put it away and didn't think about it, or it really wasn't applicable to what my day-to-day work is. We think of, just being active, thinking about it, setting your priorities, taking the information and saying, picking something that you can do and carry it over into your daily activities, and then do a test and see if it's working. Check it out later. Assess how your practice has changed, and that takes a lot of that makes you be more active. I know when I was younger, through grade school, through high school, I did really well in school, top 5% in school. I don't think I was really creative. I could take information, I could learn the principles, I could remember stuff. And I visited with my brother and his family in Calgary for a couple of days, and he's very similar to me. I can still see pages in my grade 9 notebook. I can see it, and I couldn't pick out all the little details because that was a really, 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 really long time ago. Really. But I know what it was about, and I can see I can see the image, and if I saw it again, I'd probably be able to explain it to you. But I wasn't creative with my learning. I wasn't really good at thinking about how this applied and what that really meant and what it mattered to me. And then even through university, in OT school, I did my bachelor's. I finished in '88, and so even through OT school, I think there was only one project that I did that I can clearly remember being very reflective, and I got a really good mark on it because I did that. And that was, we had to take a wheelchair home with us and spend a whole day in like 24 hours in a wheelchair. And like I said earlier, I've got a big family, and we had not such a big house, so we've got all these people there, and my family takes these things very seriously, and my brother picks me up and carries me down the stairs and puts me in the wheelchair, and my father drove me to school, and he would never do that. Like, I think I got drove to grade primary, and that was it. My first day, but so they took it very seriously, and when I did my essay for that project, I was quite taken by how it not only affected myself, but how it affected my family. And I felt like I was being a burden, and but I was also really proud of what they were doing. So it was a very reflective paper. But I don't think I ever did anatomy. You pull that off, you do all that stuff. I loved, all of the really scientific classes because they're facts, right? You can do that. It wasn't until I did my master's that I think that I really learned to be an active, reflective learner. And I think I did that because of the way that I did my master's, the way that I did my research. So I think, has anybody else had that kind of experience, that when you were younger, you sort of develop your reflective skills over the years? There's a couple of nods there, yeah. Here's a quote. For those who have no introspection, though they hear the teachings, ponder them or meditate, like water seeping from a leaking jar, their learning will not settle in their memories. That's a pretty nice quote. Shantideva is an 8th century Tibetan scholar, and he was one of the founders of Buddhism. Of course, everybody knows about Buddhism. And so he was a teacher that focused, and Buddhism focuses on the cultivation of bodhicitta or bodhicitta, and that is the development towards enlightenment. So I figure if reflection and introspection works for enlightenment, it's probably going to help us be better OTs too, right? So to me, this talks about not only hearing and thinking about what you're doing, but really internalizing it and getting a little bit deeper. Another quote from Donald Schoen. Donald Schoen is one of the education gurus on reflective education through the 80s, and he developed his ideas over the 80s. And we'll talk about him a few times throughout. I got one of my sisters to review my notes before I came, and she's doing a class right now. She does adult education. She's doing a class on reflective education, and she said this is all the same stuff that she's learning now in her class. So we're pretty up to date. Even though this is from 1983, his ideas are still being used. So he says that reflective practice is a dialogue. It's a thinking and doing through which I become more skillful. So I get better by thinking and doing. And there's a cumulative effect when you think and do and think and do, and you build on what you're doing. And this is the theory. So it's linking old knowledge to new knowledge. And to me, this is the basis for lifelong learning. We're going to keep on getting better and better and better. I was challenged on that. I'm self-employed. I have my own company, and my business partner and I, from every now and again, will get a business consultant to come in and help us figure out what to do next from a business perspective. And one of our values as a company is continuous improvement and continuous learning, and just everything that we do, we want to keep getting better. And she questioned us on that. She said, "Are you sure you really want to do that? You don't want to just glide sometimes and just," really, and she really questioned, and we thought about it we seriously stepped back and said, do we really want to do that? That's a lot of work. And we said, no, yeah, we do. We want to keep getting better, because we believe that there's always something better that you can do. There's always new knowledge. Since I finished school in 1988, the knowledge about rehab and how we work with people with brain injuries and mental health issues and spinal cord injuries, it's all changing, and it's constantly changing. So we always need to be changing ourselves to keep up with that. So I'm a firm believer in lifelong learning. Confucianism, it rests on the belief that human beings are teachable and we're improvable through self-cultivation and self-creation and self-examination. So it works on, the idea is to develop a virtuous person, and then if you're a virtuous person, then the people around you will learn from that, and then you can develop really good, solid communities by developing yourself. And so from a profession, if we take this concept from a profession, if we work at being really good at OTs in our day-to-day practice, then we will make the profession of OT eventually get better and better all the time. So yeah, this isn't new. This is old stuff. These guys are from 400 or 500 BC. This is all new. Socrates said, "Wonder is the beginning of wisdom." I wonder if. And so reflective practice, it's more than just thinking about what we're doing. It's making problems out of things that we don't normally see as problems. So we problematize. I wonder if I did this a little differently, would things come out differently than what I'm doing right now? So taking normal everyday situations and wondering, is it gonna, if I changed it, would it make a difference? And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're doing it, the best way that you can, and it's really good. So this isn't new, but everybody's doing it now. Everybody. If you do an internet search, everybody's doing it. OTs, lawyers, law, medicine. They do it. Education is using reflective education all across the board. And I thought this was funny. The Vancouver Community College Baking and Pastry Arts program has a whole course on reflective practice. I thought that I'd like to go and take that because I'd like to find out how they reflect on making their pastries, and I don't know. It might be reflecting on how they're learning, but when I did my master's 15 years ago, there was information out there, but not nearly the amount of information that's out there now. There's so many resources in all professional and right down to grade school level. And I'll show you a couple of examples. This think sheet came from it was a behavioral management program for a child from a school. And so the principles are all the same. You're thinking about what it was that I did, and this is for a child. What was I feeling? Was I feeling mad, confused, sad? Was I frustrated? Was I embarrassed? And then, you know, what did I do? What was happening at the time? Why was I feeling that way? And what was I doing? Did I yell? Did I, you know, run to a corner? Did I kick, hit? You know, what was the behavior that I did that was bad? And then what could I do next time? And so this really simplifies it. I could stop and think. I could do a full stop. I could, you know, talk about it instead. I could go find a friend. So these are pretty basic concepts, but we apply that for our own selves. And this one was from an education or from a fitness website, so it was a year-end reflection on somebody or for people who are working on fitness. So we all do this, right? New Year's, we tend to sort of look back over my year, what was good about it, what could I be doing next time? And sometimes around school year we do that too. In September tends to be a change of season for a lot of people. And I think a lot of this stems, or certainly over the last 10, 15 years, as we've seen the growth of mindfulness in our, you know, in our day-to-day lives. And you see, I've seen it a lot. It's been, I mean, we've seen this from the 80s, 70s even, but it's getting more and more, and it's getting, you know, you're seeing it everywhere. So we're going to take it another step. So let's take a full stop, and actually everybody stand up, and we'll do a standing full stop. And if you need to stretch, do that.